Armored Core 6 PvP is doomed. Is doomed, in my opinion. No matter how many patches they are doing, the game is still going to be broken to its fundamentals. Part of it is the hard lock system, not gonna lie. Part of it is the different type of legs that, like, what do you do against a tank or a quad when you have a lightweight, for example? Like the type of leg type, the type of build don't really answer each other, and if someone has the counter to your build, you're pretty much fucked because you cannot change weapon on the fly like you could do, for example, by hard swapping in Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3. But really, it was hard for me to pinpoint why playing this game made me so angry. When I play Armored Core 6 PvP, I'm feeling a lot of frustration, a lot of angers. I'm just like upset at playing the game. I don't have so much fun, but at the same time I kind of have fun. Like, it's weird, but you feel like you end up the match, and whether when you lose, you feel like there is nothing else you could have done. And also we have some netcode problem, like the netcode is quite terrible. You get hit by things that you have dodged, some things you cannot really dodge. There is a lot of spam that's happening. But really, I think one guy pinpointed the real problem with the game, and his name is Kuro Sagi. He's a very small YouTuber that made a video called Clowned in 4K, the absolute state of trash that is Armored Core 6 1v1 community part 2. And I'm just going to wrote what he said in the description of his video because I think he nailed it. A direct quote from Ogara himself, or as translated: "The target log on assist came about mainly due to the fact that this is an Armored Core game, and we wanted you to, as we previously said, have full control of your mech. It's going to be boosting in every direction on the horizontal and vertical axis. You're going to be taking in the air to do combat, and you have simultaneous control of all of your 4 weapons. There's a lot going on, it gets quite frenetic. So target assist was introduced mainly to help newer players acclimatize to this, so they could focus on those aspects that makes the game fun and makes the mecha action combat appealing, and not have to worry too much about keeping the enemy on screen. It works like a traditional camera target lock in that sense." End quote. I want to highlight this feature, quote unquote, was implemented to make Armored Core 6 bearable and enjoyable for new players. This feature was a gift not for players with previous experience with Armored Core and Souls game in general, but for the baby Ravens we were all ready to accept into the community with open arms. They are a gift from Yasunori Ogura himself to them. And look how they used this gift that was supposed to assist their experience in the game. They took that gift and have made PvP in any scope an unbearable mess for anyone who doesn't match whatever bullshit they cook up and decide to throw at the rest of the community. We were their hostage for as long as hard lock remains, and the quality of PvP will never improve no matter how many weapon buff, nerf, nor how many patches they released. In this showcase, I want to underline a few things. Armored Core has historically been a skill-based game. As you witnessed for yourself, my opponent was most certainly using hard lock, a feature that circumvents the use of the right thumbstick. Now, they said that when it's activated, the user accuracy suffers enough to be impactful in giving the person you may be using hard lock against a slight advantage over you, a self-inflicted debuff if you will. However, pairing hard lock with the stagger mechanic means accuracy doesn't really suffer if you are stun locked and standing still, so this mythical self-debuff is actually not a debuff at all, because certain loadouts and weapon combination heavily abuses the stagger gauge, no matter how much attitude stability a player may have. In 3v3, it's a complete clusterfuck, where the team with the most stagger intensive loadout more often than not comes out victorious, meaning the only way to keep up is to create something else that is even more stagger intensive. But then comes the issue with hard lock. How do you defeat a team that has massive stagger potential and who is, no matter how well you pilot your mech, always locked onto you and following you even through terrains where the visual line of sight has been broken? tag. That's something that's completely like when the that's crazy. Like this is not in his text, but when you think about it, the hard lock follows you for a couple of seconds even when you're behind cover. I mean, what the fuck? How are you supposed to have some sort of movement skill gap? Like, where is the skill gap if your opponent can always track you no matter what you're doing, and with some crazy missile I mean, it's really mind-blowing. Like, I don't understand. Well, how does anyone keep up in any environment where one side has no qualms about using all the available tools at their disposal, no matter how unfair or broken it may present itself to be? You copy them. At the end of the day, the point of PvP is to win, but at what cost? What is the point of having a playstyle or a preferential loadout and investing hours into perfecting that playstyle if it can all be defeated by someone with hard lock unable and using the stagger heavy abusive loadout? Where is the skill in that? The point of Armored Core series is that it was frenetic and hard to control pilot one's mech. A system that was meant to reward and encourage new inductees into the Armored Core franchise has actually become a nightmare, forcing many players to either fit into the same mold as them, dictated by our hard locking, staggering, abusive player, or suffer and have a very unpleasant and unrewarding experience. Where is the skill in that? Where is the fun in that? What's the point of all the part and customization if all we see is the exact same loadout that uses the stagger mechanic as a tool to make hard lock debuff a boon for terrible player? This isn't right. As you've seen in this video, my opponent had a far worse time fighting against my own right thumbstick than actually dealing with me when I disable his hard lock and soft lock aim assist features. This is a sad state for Armored Core competitive play. Imagine that. Imagine being a new player and wanting to follow in the footsteps of past ravens and not relying too heavily on hard lock. But then you meet someone with hard locking stagger abusive clown like this in PvP. Not just once or twice, but over and over and over again. What would you do? Put the controller down and quit Armored Core? Or would you start to find enjoyment in doing the exact same thing to others? How far would you keep up with the meta? Kurosagi out. So I think he nailed it. I think he really nailed it. Kurosagi, I hope you're not too upset about me quoting you and reading your text in this video. Of course, make sure you follow Kurosagi. That his playstyle is on. I love how he plays. Basically, he was using the smoke that disable hard lock, and he was moving around the map against a guy using like dual Gatling, and it's beautiful how he plays. But it's really a big problem for modern gaming in general is that, and it's really the same thing with Elden Ring, to be honest. The best way to finish Elden Ring, to play Elden Ring, the easiest way was magic, and it's always the least effort intensive, the least skillful tactic that is the most rewarding. And we don't find this only in Elden Ring or in Armored Core. I've been a big Destiny 2 player, and it's the same thing with Destiny 2. The easiest weapon to use are the most deadly, and I don't know how I mean, I understand why they do that. They do that for money. The more people can play your game and have an enjoyable experience, the better it is. But what about the human race? What about taking time to get good? I mean, it's really about that motto about getting good. Like, what happened? This is what made Dark Souls famous for, because you had to improve in order to beat the game. You couldn't rely on some cheap tactic. And it's the same with a couple of games, but Armored Core, even in the PvE experience, at the end of the day, it all comes down to loadout. Once you have the good weapons, the games become trivial. Think about the IB series boss, which was like amazing and super hard to beat, like one of the best boss design. But once you start to use Spy Bunker and like shotguns and the lens, the laser lens, it's super easy. So I know what they're doing, but I think they're not going. I mean, the market is going to be good. The market is going to enjoy and to rejoice from that. Look at Candy Crush. Candy Crush is one of the most one of the most economically financial, one of the game that makes the most money, and it's just like some stupid half Tetris like game with some microtransaction into it that just makes your brain melt, that you use to pass your time between your time of travel between your home and work. You know, it's like TikTok, it's like all those things that are just making our brain melt slowly, and where we don't use our brain cells and we are numbing ourselves. And what some of us tryhards and people that want to get good are finding into gaming is a place where we can somehow be skillful, because maybe our real life doesn't allow it to be. I mean, this is a video for another day, but this is for sure some of it that I am looking for. I'm not just playing games to pass time. I really want to have a hard experience and to get better. But the design of, for example, Armored Core 6 is just make it so that if really the end is to win, I mean, I need to play like I have zero brain cells, and the game almost plays itself for me, and I don't want that. But maybe that's what people want, and that's fine. And everyone that is enjoying Armored Core 6 PvP, like, all the power to you, because I also enjoy Armored Core 6 PvP. I also have a lot of fun. I'm molding over playing this game, but I'm also having fun. But the anger and the frustration are just way stronger than the couple of matches that I have where it's fun. But yeah, this is basically my point on Armored Core 6 PvP. I really don't think I'm gonna make many videos on this game. I wanted to, but from all the previous, from what I've seen in people playing tournament, from the videos of Stilovsky, it's just like, what is this game? Like, what are we doing? Am I wasting my time? I should go back to make Chili's videos. So expect some of that in the near future. Let me know your guys' thought in the comment section below. I'm very curious. I love you guys. It was Valentin, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.